Hey guys, it's Emac here. Today I want to talk about IoT, Internet of Things. If you want to learn how to build IoT projects, keep watching this video. I will share my knowledge in this field so you can learn and start building awesome project and make a lot of money using IoT projects. So what is IoT? Any device that can connect to internet and communicate with other devices over the internet called IoT. If your fridge is talking to internet, if your washer and dryer is talking to internet, that's an IoT device. If you build a sensor and you connect it to internet, that's IoT. Your home security system that you can look at your home on your phone, it's an IoT device because it's talking to a bunch of systems on the back end over the internet. In fact, this Tesla that you see, it's talking to a data center, it's talking to a central system. You can receive and send data. You can set it autopilot. You can do a lot of automation using this. This is a car, but it has internet connectivity. So it becomes an IoT model, IoT concept. So if you can connect to a device over the internet, you can actually consider that as an IoT device. So as I mentioned, your home security, if you have Alexa at home, those are all IoT devices. So those are real life examples like this car that you see. So I can receive updates overnight and update this machine. So it's basically this machine is talking to a different system using a machine language. But how exactly these systems interact with each other? So machine to machine language is basically called the API. These devices like car, like your fridge or washer and dryer, they expose some functionality and tell other system, okay, if you want to talk to me, if you want to know the temperature in this car, you can basically call this method or call this function and I'll tell you what the temperature is without exposing the complexity. So usually all the IoT systems, they hide all the complexity in a black box so you don't see what's going on inside, but they'll basically give you few interfaces so you can talk to them. This is called machine to machine or API communication. So if you hear word API, application programming interface, it's like the way machines talk to each other. So when this Tesla wants to receive an update, so from the data center, a system says, okay, give me your version. What's your latest version? It says my version is this number. What's the temperature? What's the battery life? So it basically can talk to this car using those APIs. So now you understand how machines talk to each other. The question is, why do we need IoT? Why can't we just use our systems in a normal way? The world is evolving on a daily basis. Everything is advanced these days. You see new products overnight, many successful companies. So you need to make fast, good decisions in business in order to become successful and be always ahead of the game. So in order to do that, what do you need? You need good quality data and you need a lot of it. But how do we achieve big data? So one way would be using IoT. So imagine a weather company, they have, I don't know, a lot of probably IoT devices. They measure everything from speed of the wind, from the direction, from the temperature, everything, and automatically send those data back to their IoT platform, and they collect those data and they merge them, they clean them, they put it in a database, and so people can basically use it. You want to be able to collect data as much as you can from the environment. So I think that's the definitely future. The future is going to be really sensor driven world around us. So as we walk, information will be collected and the environment will have a lot of useful information in order to serve us a better quality service, a better experience. So big data comes from IoT, right? If you have an IoT device, let's say you have a Raspberry Pi, it's a small basically mini computer for 30-40 bucks. You can order it on Amazon or buy it online, and then basically that device, it's a small computer that with limited amount of resource and memory, but it can act as a real computer, and it's very cheap. So imagine you put 100 Raspberry Pis and connect them to a sensor that collects some data from the environment. Let's say you capture a pressure on a specific machinery in a manufacturing line, and then you're sending data every second to the cloud or to the infrastructure. So over time, those 200 devices, those thousands of devices, they'll be sending huge amount of data every second. Not huge amount of data, but maybe a small amount of data, but over time it becomes really, really big, and it's called big data. And then now you need to have an infrastructure to process those big data information and basically create a dashboard and meaningful translation of that data, so people and business can make bigger decisions. So now we are actually at the point that we can talk about the a learning path and how to learn IoT and start building projects. So I personally started with a small project. You need to have a good understanding of one programming language, right? Let's say you learn Python or Node.js. Python is probably the best, but you can of course do it Node.js as well. And there's a lot of tools like Zerit. You can download it and you can install that on your machine and start actually building a Python script that sends a timestamp every like 20 seconds to the cloud. So in order to receive those data, you need a big infrastructure in order to receive that amount of data. You don't want to build it yourself because it's going to cost a lot of money and it's out of probably one person's ability for sure. So you want to always rely on cloud computing, cloud platform like AWS or GCP, Google Cloud Compute. Of course, I'm an AWS guy, but if you go to AWS IoT, they have an awesome dashboard. You can set up your IoT device. You can set up certification, all the IAM, access controls to the device, and then use a service called use a protocol called MQTT, which basically is used in order to communicate, basically to speak with the language that AWS understands. So MQTT, it's just a protocol like HTTP, right? It's just for IoT and AWS. So you can learn about AWS IoT by just simply following a few instructions. In fact, I'll be building another video, and I will show you how to create a simple dashboard where you can receive data from your Raspberry Pi or ESP32 device and basically receive it on AWS and perhaps send it to DynamoDB or run a Lambda function and do something else with it. So if you want to learn about IoT, you need three things for now if you want to start really fast. The one thing, you need one programming language like Python or Node.js. I personally use Python a lot since I'm very comfortable and gives me a lot of flexibility. The second thing you need is a platform to receive that data and basically process them. I use AWS IoT and I recommend you learn about it. AWS IoT, you need an account and basically follow the document for AWS IoT. And you need a device, the third thing, called let's say Raspberry Pi or ESP32, or there are older models. They're very cheap devices. They're basically small computers that you can use as a processor and set it up in your garage, set it up in your room, and start measuring something, connect it to something that sends data, or you can just start sending fake data if you're doing some testing. Come up with one good idea that fixes one business problem, right? And then build it with Python, put it in Raspberry Pi or ESP32. That thing will basically measure the environment and it will start sending the data to your cloud infrastructure. For cloud infrastructure, of course, you can use AWS, which is my favorite, but GCP has, of course, a good IoT features. So in separate videos, I will be actually building a Raspberry Pi ESP32 and integrated with IoT, AWS IoT Cloud. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave any comments below, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.